So the last one here is just some lessons learned, and these are lessons learned either from scars on our back from our implementations, or coming into a site and picking up from where our previous effort might have faltered. So just really want to share with you some of the common pitfalls and tips to avoid them as you go on your own journeys here. So as anything good, we created a little top 10 list. Number one here is start small and focused. We emphasized that earlier as trying not to implement it across your whole plant, but starting with a very small focused area with a very discrete set of set points, things that'll be high value, so you're not kind of biting off more than you can chew. Number two is ready, set, then go. I think we emphasized it a fair bit as we went through that stage gates, but you want to make sure that before you move, before you proceed from one gate to another, that conditions are set for success in the next phase. As I mentioned, false starts, delays, early failures and stuff really kill credibility of running a plant this way. And as we'll talk later, that credibility is one of the critical paths to success here. Number three, you want to make sure you avoid garbage in, garbage out. So you may not expect it when you start the effort, but typically preparing and cleaning the data can take as much time, if not more, than actually building the model that works and operates. So don't underestimate the time, and don't underinvest the time in making sure that the data is good and it's right, because if you're training the model with wrong data, you're gonna get some wonky results, and it can add a lot of extra time and cycles and rework if you don't clean it from day one. And then the next one, related to the amount of effort required to clean the data, in reality the model is only part of the solution. We find about 75% of the effort actually comes from the change management side, the human side of things. So you're going to need to change your management systems. As I mentioned, you're changing KPIs, you're doing all sorts of management routines, behavior management. That takes a lot of time and effort. So the lion's share of the lift in terms of implementation comes from that side. So make sure you're kind of prepared for that as you think about your journey, and don't underestimate it and underinvest. Number five, putting the expert in virtual expert. So you've already got a lot of subject matter experts in your operation. So it's always important to have the subject matter experts working hand in hand with the data scientists. And there's often need for two things. One is someone there to be a bit of a translator to make sure they can speak the same language. And number two is making sure that your data scientists and your programmers actually understand the basics of mill operation, and they've got experience in mining, so it's not their first rodeo, because otherwise it becomes it's like trying to get people working together that don't speak the same language, and successful collaboration is key there. Next one is hopefully some of these are emphasizing this, but alignment and trust building is actually the critical path. At the start, early days, there's going to be a lot of skepticism. And so you really need to be building that buy-in actively at every step. If you're not, people are waiting for this little wrong prediction, and then it's, throw the baby out with the bathwater. So you just be expecting and actively manage that trust and buy-in as you go. Which leads to the next one, which is kind of obvious, but it requires a lot of human, not just machine learning. So you're going to need to have an actual training plan. It can't be a black box for operators, for supervisors, and all that. So have a training plan and a coaching plan. So it's not just, hey, we've got it operating, let's run a day of training and then see you later. But make sure you have that active coaching going forward in the early days, particularly. Related to all of these things, you're going to need some boots on the ground, so some dedicated people. If you're trying to do this with folks that are purely off-site data analytics team, you're just not going to have the time to do it. Firstly, don't lose sight on the business case. A lot of the times with technology initiatives in general, success is declared once the model's been implemented, and then you walk away. But stay and success is declared when the business case has been delivered, and make sure you don't lose sight of that. And then the last one is, as you get that success, look for scaling fast and harnessing that momentum.